Hey, wonderful people. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving into something exciting and life changing, starting your very own online business right here in Kenya. If you've ever dreamt of becoming an entrepreneur in this particular country, this is a video that you don't want to miss. And before we begin, I'd kindly ask you that you may be able to subscribe and click that notification bell so that if we release such kind of videos that I'm very sure you'd really love and you'd find very beneficial, you will be the first person to be notified. And so thank you for subscribing. And let's get into it. MasterCard did a research sometime back, and they found that 79% of Kenyans do their purchases or their transaction online. That Kenyans find it so easy to order things online and have it delivered to them, especially those people who are living in the cities. And the cities here, I mean mainly Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru. Kisumu is slightly picking up, but those are areas that people find it easy to place their order and have that delivered to their doorstep. Mainly because mostly Nairobi city, for example, is a very busy city and people are moving up and down. If you look at the lifestyle of a professional in Nairobi, you'll find that they wake up very early in the morning, as early as 4, to prepare their kids to go to school, even as they prepare themselves to go to work. And they work up to around 5, and they're about 6. Some of them are living in the outskirts of the city. Some of them are living in Athi River, far away. And so sometimes by the time they drive back from work and get back to the house is a little bit late. And so most of the time, during their work hour, they would want to steal some time just only to check what is going on the social media or what is going on in their favorite, online store. And so they would want to put an order either for that order to be delivered to their offices or to be delivered into their houses. And so essentially, Kenya is growing, especially Nairobi, is growing into an e-commerce town. People are ordering food online. People are ordering groceries online. People are ordering clothes online. People are ordering every little thing, including pharmaceutical products online. And that is the space we are talking about. That 79% of Kenyans find it easy and convenient to do that. And so this is a space that is great to actually get into. And so that brings me to the question, what exactly is an online business? Simply put, this is a business that is done on the online platforms. It could be social media spaces like Instagram and Facebook, and maybe WhatsApp, or it could be, an online platform, an online hosting platform, or an e-commerce hosting platform like Gigi, and like any other online platform that Jumia. And so that is what defines an online business. And so if this is something that you've been really thinking about, because especially now when things are very expensive in Kenya, it's a little bit easier and affordable to start an online business. And so if this is something that you've really taken time to think about and you think that is something that you'd want to try your hand in, then this is what you want to go through. And I believe that you're going to find this very beneficial. So after that decision or definition of what an online business is, let us take a moment and just look at how do you decide on the type of business you want to start. So for example, myself at one particular point in the year 2020, I was really struggling and thinking what other source of income I can be able to actually come about or I can venture into. And after thinking and thinking through, I got into a maternity space, selling maternity clothes. And majorly, one thing that I found which was really missing in the market is just getting comfortable maternity bras, nursing bras, comfortable and high quality. And that's what I went for. And so I just want to take you through so that you get to really understand how did I settle, for example, on my side, how did I settle on maternity bras, and what really motivated me, considering the fact that I'm a man, and what really motivated me to venture into this particular space. So this is a question that most of us are really struggling with. Yes, you know you want to start an online business, but you don't know how exactly do you go about it. So the first step of starting any online business is generating business ideas. It begins with brainstorming sessions and just exploring various online business concepts that you can be able to think about. And when I'm talking about online business concepts, it could be concepts like selling, consumable products. This could be beauty products. This could be, clothes. This could be anything B to C, anything that people really need, pay and they be delivered. Okay, tangible products. That's one thing. Another option is could be that you want to, sell a service, for example, that you can be able to be doing a business to do with cleaning homes, doing thorough cleaning, especially for single people. And so this is something that is important. What business, concept do you want to work with? And just sitting down and looking around you and asking yourself, what do I want to venture in? That is a very important element or that is a very important angle that you'd really want to look at. Just sitting down and asking yourself those very important questions. What am I passionate about? What would I love to do? What business do I think people are really succeeding and I'm equally in love with it? Those are very basic, important questions that you really want to ask yourself. So look for opportunities in areas that interest you or align with your skills and experience. Because again, maybe you are someone who's a chef and you're really good at it, and this is something that you've done and you understand it so well, then you can be able to actually help people, with their bulk cooking, for example. Or maybe you've worked in a boutique, for example, and you have full experience in that particular space. And so that really gives you an higher advantage in starting in that particular space of boutique. Or you've ever tried, selling shoes, for example, or you've worked with a company that sells shoes before. And so that is a space that you have experience in and you really understand it. And so you want to look at opportunities in areas that you're really passionate and interested. And also you have skills and you love that area, because again, you don't just do business for the sake of doing. You want to do business that you're not going to feel tired, you're not going to feel discouraged in the process, but you're going to be really willing to stay stuck with it for a very long period of time, because it is through that level of passion, it is through that level of experience, it is through that level of skills that is going to be able to help you succeed in this particular space. Because if anything, businesses are very, competitive in Kenya. The space is really very, very competitive. And so until you are able to make a decision and look at things that you're really passionate about, look at things that you have prior experience about, look at things that you think you really love, then trust you me, you're born to fail even before you start. And so you want to really look at, what are you passionate about? And can you really be able to venture into that particular space? So you want to consider your passion. You want also to consider market trends. How does the market looks like? What are people buying? And what are the market gaps? Those are important, questions that you really want to ask yourself. Okay? You want to list potential business ideas that are coming into your mind. And this is what I always tell people, that before you settle on any kind of business, take, a day or two, just list, allow your mind to travel anywhere, allow your mind to think of any kind of business and just do the listing. Anything that comes to your mind, be it selling bags, be it selling shoes, be it selling clothes, be it offering a service, whatever it is, just write all of them down. Don't restrict yourself. Write each and every business idea that is coming into your mind. Write them down. And after writing each and every business idea that comes into your mind, I want you to go back into that list again and start actually doing what is called probation, just checking through and analyzing which ones are realistic for you at that particular moment, looking at how the market looks like. Okay, can you be able to analyze and ask yourself, if I'm to start any business in line of selling shoes, can I be able to, what unique factor am I bringing into this particular space? What do I love about shoes that most of the people are really missing out, that I want to bring on board? What really wants to make me different? And that's the question I kept on asking myself, because I saw that women were really struggling, especially when it comes to breastfeeding. Because what is happening with women is that, when you've just given birth, or when you are just about to give birth, their breasts are always very sensitive, and therefore they need a certain type of material in terms of their bra, because their nipples are very, very, very sensitive. And that is something that was really lacking in this particular market. And most of the time, what they need is unwired bra, any bra that has got no wire, something comfortable. Okay, that's what they were looking at. And I was looking at the market. I realized that this was really missing out. It was not available in the market. And even if it was available in the market, there was only one, outlet that was selling it, and that one was Woolworth. And Woolworth was selling this particular bras at a cost of around 5,000 shillings. Most of the women could not afford it at that particular time. And so I looked at that particular space, and I realized that that is a space that I would really want to venture in. And I ventured into it. And I realized that it is something that actually there was a serious demand for it in the market. And so you want to sit down and analyze each and every business idea that you've listed, and cancel out the ones that you don't really relate well. You don't feel, even when you look at it, you don't feel that level of passion about them. You want to actually just try and exclude them in this particular discussion. So that is something that is important. So once you have a collection of business ideas, break them into smaller components. And these smaller components, one thing that you want to do, that as you're doing the breakout, is analyze the key elements. The key elements here are elements like, target market. Who are you targeting with these particular products? Are you targeting the rich, or the middle class, or the low class? What gender are they? What ages are they? Where are they? And so it's very important, that you're able to understand your target market, but also sit down and understand your competition. When I got into selling nursing bras, one thing that I did is I went into Amazon, and I looked at the nursing bras that were there, just only to understand what level of quality was being appreciated. Because nursing bras, most of the businesses were not selling it, and so getting proper reviews for it was really very difficult. Yes, there were nursing bras, and I checked through, and people kept on complaining about the quality, because people wanted something affordable that women could easily buy very fast. But even though they could be able to afford it at a cost of 500, 400 shillings, what was happening is that they kept on complaining about the quality of the products that they were really getting, even though they were cheap. So I looked at the Kenyan market, I looked at the US, UK market, and I looked at that particular brand, just product, and just to understand what are the things that these customers, these consumers are really appreciative of this particular product. What were they really appreciating? And each and every time I sat down and I just listed what they were really appreciating, what they were mostly complaining about, and I understood that particular space. I got enough information that I really needed. And another analysis that you want to do is you want to check on the revenue potential. After analyzing and understanding the target market, and vis-a-vis the product that you want to provide to them, you want to really ask yourself, what revenue are you really looking at? And does it really make sense when you look at all the expenses that you want to put in place, and how you want to go about it? So again, you want to ask yourself, does it really make sense for you? So you want to look at revenue potential. But then again, you also want to ask yourself the resources that you're going to require to run this particular business. Okay, what type of resources do you really need? Are they very expensive resources for you to be able to run this particular business? So if it is a business that is going to require you that you must have a physical location, even if it is one, and you look at your resources and they are not sufficient, then that is a business that you want to a little bit pause. Okay, and so you want to do a proper analysis and ask yourself, do I have the resources to run this particular business? And then lastly, you want to ask yourself in this particular discussion, is this business scalable? Can I expand it? Can I grow it? In the next 5 years, if I stay in this particular business, will I be able to have a business that has grown, or it's going to remain static, the same space, the same size, and it's not growing? So you must make sure that the business that you want to start is scalable. It is something that you can grow. It is something that you can be able to expand. Okay, and so that is an angle that you really want to look at. And so it's important that you develop a set of criteria or pointers to evaluate your business idea. And so this is your bare minimums that the business ideas must meet before you can be able to settle in them. And I believe in the next video, I'm going to sit down just only to help you and draw, a framework with which you can be able to, help in analyzing the type of business that you want to start. And so that framework, I'll be able to develop it and just share with you even as we go along. So it's important that you develop such pointers to help you in this particular journey. And these pointers can be very specific to your goals. So pointers could be things like profitability, could be things like the market demand, could be things like personal interest, or the social impact that this business is going to have. So drawing such kind of pointers are going to help you, or are going to guide you into settling on the most appropriate kind of business that you should be able to settle on. Now, again, when you look at all those pointers, you want to actually assign scores or weight to each and every criteria, okay, so that it helps in prioritizing and ranking, the ideas accordingly, because this will help you to narrow down. It will help you to narrow down and pick business that suits your best interest. So that is something that you really want to do. Now, conducting market research is something that is also important. You've looked at the businesses that you want to start. You've eliminated, initially there were 10, now you are having around two ideas or even three that you think are potential, that you think that you're willing to risk on. So one thing that you want to do in the next stage is just do a proper market research on the two of them and look at, the sustainabilities of these business ideas and be very critical and realistic about them. So market research entails gathering information and data. And this information and data could be focusing on, your customers, your market condition, your competitors, and all that. So you want to sit down and just do proper market research. Okay. Now, these insights are crucial, you know, because again, they're going to help you into understanding what buyers are looking for. It's going to allow you to understand the problems of, of your potential customers, the pain points and their desires. This is going to really help you get to understand what are the challenges that customers or the current consumers are really facing with the current suppliers. And so that is also an element that is very important that you can't be able to take for granted. So once you've done that, because once you are able to understand the market, once you are able to understand the gap, once you are able to understand what current consumers are looking for, the extras they're really looking for, what is missing in the market, this is going to allow you to effectively tailor your product or service to address these particular problems that the buyers are having. And so you cannot take it for granted. It's a very important process. So to carry out market research, there are basic things that you have to really be able to do. First of all, you have to research your customers so that by the end of the day, you are able to comprehend your customers, their desires, and most effective means of making your product to service their needs. So again, you want to do a proper research about your customers, but also you want to do a proper research about your competition. Because again, if you're able to really understand what your competition is lacking in the market as at now, and you're able to fill that gap, it would be a great competitive advantage. But also, if you're able to, you know, go back and get to really understand what makes your competition stands out, what you can be able to borrow from them, the ideas that you can be able to pick, and be very objective with this kind of discussion. Don't be very shallow, just get deep and get to really understand how that space looks like. It's important for you so that you are able to make a well informed decision. That is important for you. So, what question must you ask yourself when you're doing, or must you have answered while you're doing, your market research, so that you're able to really understand, uh, the space you're getting in? The number one question, and if you're writing, kindly write this question down. The number one question: are there any existing businesses offering similar services or products that you want to offer? Do they really exist? You want to really know that, and you want to identify them. As you're asking yourself that question, if yes, they exist, who are they? And list them down. List them down. And just take a moment and look at their social pages, look at their websites, look at their reviews. What are people saying about them? You want to do that. Now, the second question is, will demand for this product increase or decrease over time? Because again, you don't want to get into a space where the business is not going to grow, that after 2 years it's going to go back and it's going to fall. So you want to make sure that you are starting a business that has got continuous demand, that the demand is growing each and every time, that tomorrow you're still very sure that if you bring the product, there are people who are still going to consume it. So that by the end of the day, you don't start a business that is not sustainable, a business that is not scalable. So you want to ask yourself that question. And then again, the next question, number three, that you want to ask yourself is it going to be difficult to turn into profit? Or is it going to be very difficult for you to make profit? Because if it is a business that is just going to consume much of your resources, the little resources that you have, then it becomes very difficult for you to run that particular business. So you want to ask yourself whether it's going to give you the margins that you're really looking for. The fourth question that you want to ask yourself: what is the main problem that your service or your product is going to solve? That is important, because to me, when I got into the bra business, I was really very sure that the comfort that I'm going to give these ladies, I was going to give them quality. I was going to give them comfort. I was going to give them confidence, because again, the bras were leak proof. That means that the women who had a lot of excess milk, it was not going actually to pass through their clothes. And so that again was going to bring back their dignity as nursing moms. And so I was really very sure about the value proposition that I was, going to put into the market. So you want to ask yourself, what problem are you really going to solve with this particular product that you're going to bring into the market? Another thing that you really want to ask yourself is, are people willing to spend money to solve this particular problem? Because again, if the problem is not as big that people can survive uh, around that particular product, that they don't have the urgency to solve it, then there's no need of them spending much money unless the cost is so little. But if you are offering a product, you want to ask yourself, does this product solve a problem that people are really willing to, pay that money for? I saw at one particular point Safaricom launched a product. It was called uh, a card that we were using to pay matatu or something. It did not pick because again, the cost of moving to that, especially the makangas, were not very comfortable with this particular product. The customers themselves find it time consuming because you had to load it fast. After loading it, you get there, you realize that the makanga has got no machine to read the card. So by the end of the day, there were just a lot of inconveniences, and it ended up flopping. And so you want to ask yourself, what is the cost of receiving your service, and are people willing to pay so that they are able to, get the service or your product that you're offering? So essentially, that is important. Now, after you've done all that, the next thing that you want to ask yourself is, where are you going to get these products? Where are you going to get these products? And there are two options, especially if you are selling products, consumer goods. There are two options. Either you can import internationally, you can check China, you can go to Turkey if you want to buy clothes, you can do India for shoes, you can do US, UK, you can even go to Japan. Okay? And you can be able to check through just only to get such to do proper research about what you're looking for. For me, I went to China. I sourced all my maternity bras from China, but I was very specific on the type of products that I was really looking for. And I believe in the next video, I'm going to also help you in how you can be able to source products from China. What are the best ways of going about it? And how can you be able to get your product home with minimum order quantity so that you don't spend a lot of money when you're starting? So I'll guide you through in some next video on how you can be able to source products from China through Alibaba, and there are three other websites that you can be able to use to actually source products from China. So I sourced my maternity bras from China, but then again there are options. There are local options. You can be able to actually go to Easily and see, especially if you're selling clothes. You can be able to go to Easily and just check if you can be able to get somewhere to buy on wholesale. I believe they are there. Or you can go to industry area, whatever it is that you want to sell, be it diapers or whatever. Or you can go to Kamkunji. I mean, there are a lot of options, even locally. So you want to really do an analysis and get to understand where are you going to source your products, because sourcing also determines the price. Okay, because remember, people who are selling in wholesale in Italy, they have sourced from, wholesalers in some other country, China, Turkey, India, wherever, and then they bring it here. So the cost at which you're going to get it here, they have added their margins a little, as opposed to if you were to, import by yourself. Look, depending on the quantity that you're going to, pick. So it's important that also you get to really understand uh, some of these things. So whether you want to import from China or you want to do it locally, it's upon you have to make that decision. But you have to get to really understand that that one is also going to affect your pricing. So you must understand where are you going to source your products. That is also very important, and whether you are going to be able to get consistent supply of that product that you will have settled for, so that it's not today there is supply, once you are run out of stock, you go back to restock, you find that there are no supplies anymore, and you are not really very sure when the next shipment is going to come in. So you want to make sure that there are consistent supply of the products that you're looking for. I know of a lady who sells happy socks. That's what she does. And she is very sure that every time she is going to restock, she will surely get that particular product. And so you want to get to really understand, essentially, you know, what type of products are you looking at? And is there a consistent supply of it? That again is important. And so you've done all this, you've done the market analysis, you've identified the space where you want to get to, you've identified, the type of products that you want to sell. The next thing that you want to do is that you want to do registration and branding your business. And here is where identifying and deciding on name of your business. What I always discourage people from is trading on your name, not building a brand around your product. That is something that I always discourage people from. You want to brand your product, you want to give your brand a name. And so this name should be related in the space where you are in. So the only thing that you want to do is that that name should be able to accommodate your future growth, so that you don't start a name that as you grow, you get to realize that you have to change the name. So, for example, I made a mistake when I was starting, and I called my business Comfy Maternity Bras. I know it sounds nice, but as I scaled, as I grew, I realized that there were a lot of things that really changed. I realized that I could not only be selling bras all the time. I needed to supplement some other products that this nursing moms needed, and so I needed to complement that with bringing baby clothes, baby products, maternity dresses, maternity tops, comfortable things. And so I really realized that I was no longer now selling only bras, but I was selling also baby clothes and all those other things. And so it made me change the whole concept and rebrand midway, so that I'm able to actually accommodate the rest of the products that I was really selling. And so you want to name your business or give your business a name, but you want to sit down and think about your business in the next 5 years and look at the potential of growth. What are other extra supporting products that you're going to bring on board that would really need to be accommodated in this particular space? And so you want, when you're deciding on names, you want to look at it in the next 2 3 years and just make that decision, making sure that whatever you're thinking in your mind is fully accommodated in that particular space. And so make sure that you settle on around 3 4 names. Think critically about it. Make sure that they're names that are easy to remember for people. They're names that are easy for people to pronounce. It should be a name that even a Luo is struggling to read, or a Kikuyu is struggling to read, or a Kalenjin. It should be a name that is accommodative, that is easy to remember, and it's easy in the mind and in the mouth of people. So that is something that you want to do. The reason as to why also I'm suggesting 4 names is that you really need to register your business. It's very dangerous and it's very difficult to operate under your name. And so you want to register a business that is completely separate from you. And so there are two options of business registration. You can do a business name where it is you operating the business. The business is operating under your PIN, under your legal identity, but it has a name. So you give it an identity. Okay. Yeah, so that's what we call a business name. It's not a limited company. And I believe registering one in Kenya is around 1,000 pop. And you have your business name. You go to each citizen, you provide this 4 name options that you settled for. And out of the four, the e-citizen team will be able to pick on one that is available and give you that as a business name. So out of that, after you've gotten the business name, now you can be able to register a bank account if you want to register, or you can be able to apply for a till number. Because again, you have to think through and ask yourself, how are people going to pay for your services? And you don't want to mix your personal finances and business finances. And that's why having a tail number is important. Because when someone plays an order online, they want to equally pay online. And so one thing that you want to do is that you want to have a payment gateway. And that's where business tail number is coming in. And so for you to register a business tail number, you can't have a tail number if you don't have a registered business. So you have to make sure that that is done. But then again, on the branding sides, besides the name, you want to identify a nice logo. You want to find someone who can be able to design for you a nice logo. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can even go to Canva and work use some templates for starters so that you can be able to have a logo, okay, and have your company colors also clear. Work on your social media pages, and you don't have to have all the 5 6 social media pages to work on. You can choose which one do you want, which platform do you want to use. Do you want to use Facebook? Do you want to use Instagram for starters, or do you want to use Twitter or TikTok, or do you want to work with only WhatsApp? So you have to settle. I always encourage that you only settle on two, especially when you're starting. Don't push, because if you use a lot of them, then it's going to be a lot of work to post content in all these platforms. So I always encourage you to settle on two. Of course, WhatsApp, most of the time I don't consider it a social media platform. But WhatsApp, if you settle on two, maybe if you settle on Facebook and Instagram, you can actually use WhatsApp as your customer service space, so that any message that comes in through WhatsApp. So settle on 2 or 3 marks, your mode of or your social media presence, and use that. So essentially, that is important. But if you have money and resources, you can think of launching a website or any of that. But I don't encourage it. Just start simple and see, test the waters first. See how the business is going to grow, how it's picking up. Even if you have 100,000 shillings, don't take all your 100,000 shillings and invest in that business. Please, I always say that if you have capital, for the first investment, use a quarter of it, not half, a quarter of it. For this case, use 20,000 shillings. Only 20,000. Keep 80,000 if you have 100,000, and try that business and see how it's going to pick up. If you see that it has been able to give back your money, it has been able to grow it, then that's when you want to start scaling. And so the next one, again, you top up another, quarter of it to make it 40,000 plus the little profit that you made, so that you keep seeing it scale. As it scales, you keep on adding resources. And that's what you want to see. You don't want to lose all your capital in risking on something that you're not really very sure how it's going to turn out. And so that is something that also you'd want to really do. And as I've said, work on your online presence. And as you keep on pushing your product, and just make sure that every day you wake up to promote and talk about your products. Stop focusing on things that are not really necessary. If you're selling bags, sell bags, talk about bags, and a little bit funny things in between, but talk about bags. Be passionate about it. Be present for your business every single day. Be there for your business. Invest time, invest passion, invest resources. Just be there for your business. Talk about your business. Share with your friends. If you're introducing yourself, introduce yourself and introduce your business. Talk about your business each and every time. Don't give up. Just make sure that you're having that conversation all the time with people who have ears, who are willing to listen. That is something that you want to do each and every time. When you've started your business and you've put your little resource, give yourself time. Give yourself 2 months, 3 months to see how the business is going. And after every 3 months, sit down and do your evaluation, an overall evaluation. But I always encourage people that after every week, sit down with pen and paper and see how many customers have you been able to serve, how many leads have you gotten, and which ones really bought for you, and which ones were hesitant, and why were they hesitant, why didn't they buy, why did they take the product, what was the feedback. Sit down and open your business all the time and just analyze it, so that you get to really understand what is going on. Keep yourself there and keep on pushing. Give yourself 3 months before you can actually make a decision whether you want to proceed or not. And keep on assessing and analyzing your business. Have a proper book where you can be able to take notes, where you can be able to write down what you're thinking each and every day. And trust you me, as time goes by, you're going to succeed. I know in a research they say that in Kenya, almost 50% of businesses fail before they get into their second year. But I would say that that one is also dependent on the amount of time and resources and energy you put into pushing your business. And so, one thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you push your business. But one thing I want to also encourage you is that be prayerful. Pray for your business every day. Put it in the hand of God so that God can be able to bless the work of your hand. God can be able to give you ideas to scare. And there you have it, guys. Thank you. I know it has been long, 40 minutes of this particular discussion, and I believe that you've been able to pick a thing or two that can be able to help you, that can be able to guide you to start your business. Don't wait too long. Just start. You will learn as you go along the way. Don't overthink it. Just start, and you will learn as you go along the way. So I would encourage you, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe, because I'll be giving such kind of informative information, not halfway, just going deep into discussion. And if you love such content, kindly subscribe and click the notification bell. Until next time, I wish you well in your business. Bye bye.